it's Kristen and happy Topic Tuesday to you. For Topic Tuesday today we have Palette Palooza Part 4. I think at this point I probably don't have to put out the disclaimer, so we'll just move on. Again, if I have done a 4 looks 1 palette with any of these, I will have the 4 looks 1 palette playlist below and you're welcome to go ahead and check that out. So these are kind of random ones that I didn't have. A lot of them maybe only have 1 from the brand or 2 from the brand, something like that. And for those of you that are thinking to yourself, how long can this go on? There will be one more after this and that will be drugstore. So yeah, and if you're curious about this eye look or face or any of that, I actually did a get ready with me on Sunday. And all I did was change my shirt, and it's still Sunday, and I'm filming for Tuesday. So if you want more information on that, go ahead and check that out. All right, let's get started. If the lighting changed, I shut the blind. It's a little bit bright, a little bit too much daylight. I think it's hard for me to tell really, but okay. So the first one that I have here, these are in no particular order, is the It Cosmetics, and this one has a really long name. I will list the name for you below. But one of my favorite palettes. This was made it in my 2013 like all around favorites. And these are the shades. Really nice palette to work with. The shimmers are nice. The mattes are nice. They wear really well. Big fan. I know. Okay, so if you're this is the first Palette Palooza you're catching, what I'm doing with these is showing the palettes that I have in my stash and then showing my favorite shades within those palettes. And my favorite shades are similar, which is why I'm chuckling at myself. So those are actually these 3 right here in the middle. And this is actually a really nice brown as well. I wish it was a little bit deeper. Can't remember if I said that in my review video or not. So there are the shades right there. They don't have names, so I have no names for you, but those are the shades. All right, the next one that I have here actually was a gift from Emily last Christmas, and this is the BareMinerals Convertible Eyeshadow Palette. Now, I did see that there's another one out this year. I haven't checked it out yet as far as colors, but I did see that there was one, and those are the shades in that. And so the thing with this is that you can pop out the center. In case you haven't seen this, let me just try to not pop. You slide out the center like this, so you can create the shades that you want, because those pop in and out, and then you can take it with you, which is delightful. It's brilliant, quite frankly. So let's open this back up again. And I would say probably my favorite shade in here is the green. And let's just swatch the one right next to it. So these 2 right here. They look like that. I love that green. Well, and I love the other one too. Together, it is Sunday, game day. All right, and then this one, I wish that this had been permanent, or when they bring these out, I just wish they were permanent. This is the Smashbox Softbox Eye Palette, is all that it's called, and I know that it came and went. The brush in here was actually really nice. See that? It's a really nice brush. And this brush on here is nice for lining with the cream things. I don't normally like cream products in my palettes, but you can see that I have used that bronze liner quite a bit. This was a long time ago, I gotta tell you. So, I mean, I love all of these shades. These are just really nice, warm, a little cooler over here. I will swatch Lucky Penny, Sienna, and Truffle. Those ones right there. I would not be surprised if you could find this. Oh, I love that Lucky Penny. I don't know. Maybe Amazon, you never know. But so there's that Lucky Penny, Sierra, and Truffle. Oh, I just love that. That's one swipe of that. It's a really nice palette. You know, I've said this before. I sometimes don't break out my palettes that aren't available anymore because, well, I don't know, because I don't like talking about things that aren't available. Speaking of things that aren't available, this is the Smashbox Wonder Vision Mega Palette. This was from last year. Holiday, I totally remember still getting this and finding it, and the girls that I was shopping with and that sort of thing. This is what it looks like. I used this so much last year, and it's kind of been in a drawer now, and I haven't used it for probably 6 months. There are so many shades in here that I like. I don't even know where to begin. I'm going to go with, and they do have names on them. Let me just, Red. It's called Red. It's really more cranberry. And then the one next to it is also delightful. So these 2 right here right there. Just, I love this. It's just a really, really nice palette. Some of these palettes that I've done a 4 Looks 1 palette with, I've said before, I'd love to break out and do a different one and see how I would do it differently now. But this palette had, this whole row of mattes in it right here. It had transition color, it had a deep brown, it had a matte black. This is just a really nice palette. My only issue I think that I had with it was, well, it's not a review. I didn't like the black being so close to the bronzer and the blush. That was kind of, but just as far as shadows themselves and not the rest of just, it's a really good palette. In case anybody's wondering what my definition of a palette is, I was thinking about that the other day. I think I decided 6 shades or more. So I didn't do quints, I didn't do quads because, whoo buddy, that could be a whole other series in and of itself, quite frankly. All right, next one is the Sigma Warm Neutrals. I was so impressed with this palette. I really should, there's another one out now, but this is the only one I have from Sigma, but I really was very impressed with this palette. Enjoyed the 4 Looks 1 palette I did with this. It's a really deep kind of cranberry merlot color right here. It's very, very pretty. And this one right here. Those together, let me just build that one up a little bit. Very nice. This was 1 swipe of that. That was 2 swipes of that kind of, you know, it's a taupe, but it really has some added warmth into it. I'm gonna leave that out and use this week. I love that combo. And those colors were Dove and Russet, actually. So this is the palette that my friend Holly had sent to me. Actually, these next 2, they're the only ones that I have from Sephora. It does not have a name on it. When you look at it, it just says makeup palette. It doesn't have any name on it. But really nice shades. I've only used a few of them. You can kind of see maybe the ones that I've used. And then this is supposed to be a blush down here, but I can't function that as a blush. It's just too little, but it's very pretty. Build that up a little bit. So I use that as a transition color. If you can see that. Don't even know. And then the bronzer in it, which is right there, is, it has some serious, you know, there's a lot more pigment to it than you would think just by looking at it there. Very pretty, has some sheen to it though, so I actually have used it as an eyeshadow, not so much as a bronzer. And this champagne color and then this one below it are the ones that I probably use most often when I have used it. So these 2 right here. Very nice. And I know I hear a lot of people say how, well, I put that right into the blush, didn't I? I know that I have heard people say that, you know, that the Sephora shadows are better than they get credit for. So something to keep in mind. And then the other one that she had sent me is this really cute, it's called Baked Color Notebook. And I know that neither one of these are available. I think I talked about this down the line. And the mirror tends to come out of this one on me. But these are very, very nice. So those are the shades in there. And I've only played with this one a little bit as well. But not too probably tricky to figure out some of my favorite shades in this one. Look at those. Somebody was giving me a hard time about how half the colors I pick are like Viking colors. And they're very smooth. They're baked so you can use them wet or dry. But again, I do not believe that it is available anymore. So the next one is one I used to travel with a lot, and I don't know why I ever stopped doing that, and I don't know if it's available anymore or not. If it is, I will link it below. This is the Neo Classic from Hourglass. It's called Volume 6, but not because there's 5 other ones, but because there are 6 shades. Earthquake. And why this was so nice is because you can see there's a nice brow bone. Can use this one, either one of these 2 as a transition. Beautiful deep matte brown, matte black, and a matte blue that's gorgeous as a liner. I've used it wet before, and you can kind of see maybe I always go right in the same corner with it. And I think they're okay to use wet or dry. I actually don't know. I should ask Josh. But the brown is just a really nice creamy brown color, brown shade. Brown color, brown shade. That is like my hand gets wet when I'm wiping them off, and So I always want to make sure I'm trying to give a true swatch here. So it's a nice brown for deepening things up. The other they're all very, very nice. Let me see if I can get the blue to swatch for you. That's the shade of blue. I'm telling you what, that wet as a liner is really pretty. There, it's my best of my kind of wet hand. So that is a nice, like I said, I used to travel with that all the time because of the matte brown and black in it. Just really, really pretty. And having those kind of brow bone and transition colors, it's nice to go along with other palettes, I think. And so I would take that and then like one of the duos maybe from Hourglass. Anyway. The next one I have is the Laura Mercier Artist Palette. This was the second one, not the first one. It doesn't say anything on it. I no longer have the package. So that is what it looks like. By far, my favorite shade in this was Fresco. I've used that a bunch. And I don't know that you're going to be able to see it. There you go. You can see it. Let me blend it out on my wet hand. There. Just, it's really pretty. I like it all by itself. I like it just in the crease. Just whew, beautiful. African Violet is pretty. Everybody talks about that. Cur Royale is a really pretty purple. Right there. A beautiful palette. I didn't get, if she came out with one this year, I didn't get it. I don't even know if she did. And last but certainly not least of the eyeshadow palettes, and then I have just kind of a rundown of some other randoms, is the one from Pure Minerals that I just did a review on. I did a review versus a 4 Looks 1 palette, so I will link that below for you. But this one on the end, if I can figure out which one it is, Sidekick. Yeah, Sidekick. So not on the end, towards the end. It's this one right here. Looks like that. We'll go vertically. That's probably my favorite shade in there. Okay, so I don't know if you guys were interested in all palettes or just eyeshadows. I do have one that has both, and then I have 3 that have blushes in them. But so I have this one, and I never use this. I can't speak to anything about it. I bought it thinking I had to have it, and I've never used it. And it's the Voulez, Vous coucher avec quoi ce soir palette from, I think it was Nordstrom exclusive last summer, maybe, if I remember correctly. So that's what it looks like. I've only used it a few times. I know that this is Galapagos, which is one of my favorite brown shades of all time. And the rest of it, I can't remember what the actual shades are. But, yeah. It's nice. I hardly ever use it, so. Shame on me. And then, okay, let's talk about some face palettes. So I have this is actually 3 shades. So technically it probably doesn't even belong in my, since I said 6 shades or more, but we're just going to talk about it. So It Cosmetics Face Vitality Disc. Absolutely love this. I've talked this to death. This is going to be, I'm sure, in my year-end favorites. And then I have the Laura Gellar Baby Cakes Baked Blush Palette. I like these. I don't use it. They're a pain to get at because they're so little. I know a lot of people have depotted this. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe it'll show up in a vlog sale at some point. But I do have that. Just not my favorite product of all time. And then the last one is the, let me see what it's actually called, All About Cheek palette from NARS. And this has 6 shades of blush in it. And I actually haven't had this for very long. A friend of mine, she was selling it, and I bought it from her not that long ago, a few months ago, something like that. Might be longer now, but that's why most of them don't look used, because I haven't used the majority of them. So, all right, I think that is it for this one. As I said, only one more part to Palooza, and that will be drugstore, like my Wet n Wild 8 pans. Some MUA things, that sort of stuff. So that will be the last and final installment of Palooza. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, if you're interested in what's on my face, you can check out that Get Ready With Me, or I will have it listed below for you. And that's it. I hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye!